Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Friday, March 26, 2021. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball spring training games, look ahead to today and the weekend's games. Then we'll do all college basketball from the NIT to the women's tournament to the men's tournament. Go over games played yesterday and look ahead to today and the weekend's games. I think it's actually just the weekend, my bad. Golf, NASCAR, news and notes, and my best bet of the day. All right, we're going to start in the NBA today just to change things up because of how the schedule of games is set up. We'll go over yesterday's games and look ahead to what is a busy slate for tonight. Trailblazers over the Heat, 125-122. Knicks over the Wizards, 106-102. Knicks came back from double digits down in the fourth quarter in that one. Clippers over the Spurs, 98-85. 76ers over the Lakers, 109-101. Best bet wins again with the Sixers. And the Kings over the Warriors, 141-119. As De'Aaron Fox goes off for a career high in points. Alrighty, tonight's games, there's a lot of them, a whopping 11, which is really cool. At 7 o'clock tonight, you have the Nets against the Pistons. I have Detroit by 18.5. At the moment, obviously, we don't know when these new trade acquisitions are going to start playing for their respective teams. I don't know if they have to quarantine or not. But any lookouts, obviously, and then I'll make adjustments to lines for the buyers' teams eventually. Brooklyn's only favorite by 5.5. I'm laying the 5.5. If James Harden doesn't play, this line obviously goes down. My projected line goes down, obviously, to 14. So, I'm going to lay it with Brooklyn for the time being. 7:30, the Suns and the Raptors. I project the Suns by 16 total to 23. Meanwhile, it is Suns by 4.5. We don't have a total yet. I'm going to lay it at 4.5 with the Suns. ESPN 7:30, the Celtics and the Bucks. I'm at Bucks 9.5 total to 28. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to adjust the fans in the stands here. Sorry, guys. Milwaukee actually is a projected 10. Detroit, 18, because they have some fans as a 18-point dog, I should say. And in Toronto now has fans. And I would adjust their number to 15 as a dog. So Milwaukee 10 total to 28. And it's 6 and 233. I'm going to go with the under here. I don't feel great about it, but I'm just going to do something different here. I think that this is a lower scoring game than people think. So give me under 233 between Boston and Milwaukee. 8 o'clock, you have the Heat and the Hornets. My projection is Heat by 7.5, total 219.5. Meanwhile, it is Heat by 2.5. We don't have a total yet. I'm related to 2.5. No LaMelo Ball. I think that Miami is going to go on a bit of a run here, and I think that they can win by double digits. So I'm going to lay the 2.5 with Miami against Charlotte. The Blazers and the Magic. My projection for this game is Portland 17, total 223. Meanwhile, it's Portland by 11. Obviously, Orlando traded a bunch of players away. Oh, and I forgot to do an absence projection. So 18.5 Orlando. I'm still laying the 11 at minus 114. The Rockets and the Timberwolves. My projections for this game: Houston 4.5 total to 23.5. Meanwhile, it is Houston is a 3.5 point dog. I'm taking the Rockets in the 3.5 and plus 130. I don't know, really. Two terrible teams. Just take the points, but I don't know about the money line, really. The Nuggets and the Pelicans. My projection for this game is Denver 8.5 total to 28.5. Meanwhile, it is Denver 2 total to 32. I'm going to lay the points with Denver here. They're eventually going to get Aaron Gordon, but not in this game, I don't think. They're just better than the Pelicans. I just think that Zion gets too much respect. Like, he's not LeBron. Come on. I mean, yeah, he's improved this year and was an all-star, but he's no LeBron James. I'm sorry. So, I'm laying the points with Denver against the Pels. 8:30 of the Pacers and the Mavericks. I'm at Mavericks by 7, total 225. Meanwhile, it's 4.5 and 227. I'll lay to 4.5 with Dallas. They're the best two players on the court, so give me the Mavs here, minus the points. 9 o'clock, you have the Grizzlies and the Jazz. My projection for this game is Utah by 14.5, total 223.5. Meanwhile, it is 9.5 and 226.5. I'm going to lay to 9.5 with the Jazz at home. They've just been on a roll. I can't bet against the Jazz at this point. 10 o'clock, ESPN Hawks Warriors. So the Hawks getting some respect on national TV. My line, Golden State as a 6.5 point underdog, total 225. Meanwhile, it's Hawks 5.5, total 220. I'm taking the over. Yes, Stephen Curry's not playing, but I think Atlanta's offense has a chance to go off tonight. I think Trae Young could have a big game. I don't trust the Golden State defense. So give me over 220 between the Hawks and the Warriors. Last but not least, the Cavaliers and the Warriors. I'm at Lakers 6.5, total 217. And it is Lakers 5. And if the total is anything higher than 218.5, I'm taking the under. And if it's anything lower than 215.5, I'm taking the over. All right, Saturday slate. 8 o'clock, Knicks, Bucks, Pistons, Wizards, Rockets, Timberwolves. 8:30, Bulls, Spurs. 9 o'clock, Pavs. Oh, I'm mixing the names of the teams. I said Pavs. It's Mavs, Pelicans. Celtics, Thunder. Grizzlies, Jazz. 10 o'clock, the 76ers and the Clippers. And the Cavs and the Kings. And then a small slate on Sunday. 1 o'clock, the Suns and the Hornets. 7 o'clock, the Blazers and the Raptors. 9 o'clock, NBA TV, the Hawks and the Nuggets. And 10 o'clock, you have the Magic and the Lakers. Now I'm going to move on to the NHL and recap those games from last night and look ahead to tonight and what should be a very busy weekend in the NHL. Rangers over the Flyers 8-3. Islanders over the Bruins 4-3 in overtime on a game-winning goal by Anthony Beauvillier. I feel like this is the second time he had an overtime goal recently. Caps over the Devils 4-3. Hurricanes over the Blue Jackets 4-3 in overtime on a game winner by Sebastian Aho. Maple Leafs over the Senators 3-2 in overtime on a game winner by Justin Hall. Penguins over the Sabres 4-0. Blackhawks over the Panthers 3-0. Preds over the Red Wings 7-1. Impressive win for Nashville. Wild over the Blues 2-0. Stars over the Lightning 4-3. And the Avalanche over the Golden Knights 5-1. All right, small window tonight. Oilers-Canadiens postponed, unfortunately, because the Canadiens have some COVID issues going on. All right, 7 o'clock tonight, you have the Devils and the Capitals. Washington's minus 220. The Devils are plus 184. Over under 6.5. Overs plus 112. Unders minus 138. Devils plus 1.5 is minus 52. The Caps minus 1.5 is plus 126. My pick for this game is going to be the Caps puck line minus 1.5 and plus 126. That's where I just see value on the board. I just don't think this game goes over again. I think that Vitek Vanecek, assuming it's him in net, will have a great game. And I could see a scenario where the Caps win, and it's an empty net that decides the puck line here. 8 o'clock, you have the Ducks and the Blues. The Blues are minus 210. The Ducks are plus 176. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Ducks plus 1.5 is minus 164. Blues minus 1.5 is plus 136. I'm going under 5.5 and minus 115. I think that this is a low-scoring game here between these two squads, even though the Blues are on the second of a back-to-back. 10 o'clock, the Sharks and the Coyotes. The Sharks are even money. The Coyotes minus 118. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. Sharks plus 1.5 is minus 230. Coyotes minus 1.5 is plus 188. I'm taking the over at minus 112. Coyotes and overs have been synonymous lately. So I'm going over 5.5. And the Sharks can score, man. And last but not least, the Jets and the Flames. The Flames minus 126. The Jets are plus 108. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 124. Calgary or the under in this game plus 102. Calgary minus 1.5 is plus 98. Jets plus 1.5 is minus 245. I'm going to go with the Jets straight up at plus 108 is my dog pick of the night. I just don't like what I've seen from Calgary lately, and the Jets have been rocking and rolling. They looked impressive in Vancouver. I think it can do it as a dog here against Calgary. So I'm taking the Jets plus 108 on the road at Calgary. All right, Saturday, Ducks Blues was postponed, and they're actually playing tonight. I think this is scheduling issues here. 1 o'clock, the Rangers and the Flyers, the Sabres and the Bruins. 3 o'clock, the Red Wings host the Blue Jackets. The Golden Knights are at the Avalanche, Lightning, Hurricanes, Oilers, Maple Leafs, Islanders, Penguins. And beginning with that Lightning Canes game, that's at 7 o'clock, as well as Oilers, Leafs, and Isles, Pens. 8 o'clock, the Preds and the Blackhawks, Panthers, Stars. 10 o'clock, Jets, Flames, and Sharks, Coyotes. Sunday, 12 o'clock, NBC, Rangers, Capitals. 3:30 NBCSN, the Blue Jackets and the Red Wings. I think that I'm going to say the Blue Jackets win, and the Rangers been rocking. I'm going with the Rangers on the road. 5 o'clock, the Ducks and the Blues. Lightning, Hurricanes. 5:30 NBCSN, the Devils and the Bruins. The Bruins doing that easily. 6 o'clock, the Panthers and the Stars. Sens, Habs postponed, and 8 o'clock NBCSN, the Preds and the Blackhawks. I'm going to go to Chicago at home, although Nashville's been playing better. I know the Red Wings stink, but I'm going to go with the Blackhawks at home. Now I'm going to go over the spring training games from yesterday and look ahead to tomorrow in the weekend. Phils over the Yanks 13-12. Braves over the Rays 5-2. Royals over the Diamondbacks 10-1. White Sox over the Reds 9-4. A's over the Mariners 8-5. Rockies over the Angels 6-5. Twins over the Red Sox 7-4. Orioles over the Pirates 10-9. Astros over the Cardinals 3-0. Marlins over the Nationals 7-3. Tigers and Blue Jays ended a 3-3 tie. Dodgers over the Cubs 5-2. Padres over the Rangers 11-10. And Brewers and Giants tied at 2. All right, today's window, 1 o'clock, Red Sox, Rays, Tigers, Pirates, Rockies, Indians, Giants, Cubs. Rockies, Indians, and Giants, Cubs are both 4 o'clock games. White Sox, Brewers, Reds, Diamondbacks, Braves, Twins at 6 o'clock. Marlins, Astros, Nats, Mets, 6:30. Orioles, Yankees, Phillies, Blue Jays, 9 o'clock, Royals, Rangers, A's, Dodgers, and 9:30, the Mariners and the Padres. Saturday, 1 o'clock, Blue Jays, Yankees, Red Sox, Pirates, Phillies, Tigers, Rays, Twins, Astros, Mets. 3 o'clock, Indians, Dodgers, Padres, Angels. 4 o'clock, Brewers, Royals, Rangers, A's, White Sox, Rockies. 6 o'clock, Orioles, Braves, Marlins, Cardinals. 9 o'clock, Cubs, Reds, and 9:30, Giants, Mariners. Sunday, 1 o'clock, Yankees, Phillies, Braves, Rays, Twins, Red Sox, Mets, Marlins, Pirates, Orioles, Cardinals, Nationals, Tigers, Blue Jays, 3 o'clock, Cubs, Rangers, Reds, Brewers, 4 o'clock, Diamondbacks, White Sox, A's, Giants, Padres, Indians, Rockies, Royals, and 9 o'clock, the Dodgers and the Angels. Now we'll finally move on to college basketball. We will begin with the NIT as we will go over results in the quarterfinal of the NIT, and we will look ahead to the NIT semifinals. Mississippi State over Richmond 68-67. Colorado State over NC State 65-61. Memphis over Boise State 59-56. And Louisiana Tech over Western Kentucky 72-65. All right, the semifinal games, Saturday, 12 o'clock on ESPN. You got Colorado State and Memphis. Projections, Colorado State 3, total 136.5. Meanwhile, I don't see any lines up yet. And then Mississippi State and Louisiana Tech is the second of two, and that's at 3 o'clock on ESPN. I project Louisiana Tech 9, total 136.5. Let's see if DraftKings has NIT yet for the weekend. Yes, they do. So they have Memphis 4, total 138.5. I'll take Colorado State plus the 4 at minus 109. And they have Mississippi State plus or minus 1.5 against Louisiana Tech, and I am going to take Louisiana Tech plus 1.5 at minus 109 and plus 102 to win straight up. But I'll take Colorado State plus 155 to win straight up too. So I'm going to bet both underdogs in the NIT matchups. All right, women's tournament for the weekend. FanDuel has lines, so we'll actually pick them. So that is really, really cool that they actually have lines for women. So Saturday, 1 o'clock, ABC, Riverwalk region, Iowa, UConn. UConn's favored by 15.5, totals 155.5. I'm going to lay it with UConn. Paige Beckers is the best player in college basketball on the women's side of things. I think she's very special, and I think that they're going to blow out Iowa. 3 o'clock ABC, Riverwalk region, 6-seeded Michigan, 2-seeded Baylor. Baylor's favored by 12.5, total 136.5. I'm going to take the over here. I think Baylor's going to put up a lot of points, and I think that Michigan will too. And who covers? I'm going to say Baylor. But I'm waiting for it to go to 13 to take it, because I'd rather get 13 at a regular unit than Baylor at a juiced. Six o'clock ESPN 2, Mercado region, Indiana, NC State. Indiana's favored by 2.5, total 133.5. Wrong team's favored here. I'm taking NC State plus the 2.5, plus 120 straight up. NC State's very good. There must be an injury there, because that's crazy that Indiana's favored. 8 o'clock ESPN 2, Mercado region, Arizona and Texas A&M. Arizona's favored by 3.5, total 126.5. I'm taking A&M plus the 3.5 and plus 134 on the money line. This is another scenario where the higher seed's a dog. So I'm taking A&M plus the 3.5 and minus 114 and plus 134 straight up. Sunday, 1 o'clock ABC, Georgia Tech, South Carolina. South Carolina's favored by 11.5, totals 123.5. I'm taking South Carolina minus the points. They're just better than Georgia Tech. 3 o'clock ABC, Missouri State and Stanford, Alamo region. By the way, Tech, South Carolina's hemisphere. And then Missouri State, Stanford, Alamo region. Stanford is favored by 16.5, total 130.5. I'm taking Missouri State plus the 16.5 and minus 112. No, they won't win outright. I just think this game's competitive. That's a lot of points. 7 o'clock ESPN, Oregon, Louisville in The Alamo region, you're 6-2. By the way, Georgia Tech South Carolina is 5-1, and Missouri State Stanford is 5-1. So Alamo region, 6-seeded Oregon, 2-seeded Louisville, 7 o'clock ESPN. Oregon's favored by 1.5. Total's 133.5. I'm thinking Louisville plus 1.5 and minus 112 and plus 102 on the money line. I just think Louisville's better than Oregon. And 9 o'clock on ESPN, 6-seeded Texas, 2-seeded Maryland in the Hemisphere region. And Maryland's favored by 12.5. Total 148.5. I'm taking Texas plus the 12.5 and minus 106 to keep it close. I think Maryland will win, but Texas will cover that number. Now we'll move on to the men's side of things, where I actually have projections in the Sweet 16 for them. So it's cool that the women's Sweet 16 will start the same day as the men's Sweet 16. All right, so Saturday, 2:40 on CBS, 12-seeded Oregon State and 5-seeded Loyola Chicago. My projections for this game: Loyola Chicago 10.5, total 132.5. Meanwhile, it's 7 and 125. I'm taking the over 125 at minus 110. I know Loyola Chicago is a great defensive team, but that's a low total. I'm going over. I think this game's playing into the 130s, and I think Loyola will advance. 5:15 CBS, South Region, 5-seeded Villanova, 1-seeded Baylor. By the way, Oregon State, Loyola Chicago, Midwest Region. So South Region, 5-seeded Villanova, 1-seeded Baylor, 5:15 CBS. My projection is Baylor 8.5, total 146. Meanwhile, it's Baylor 7.5, total 141.5. I'm taking another over here. Villanova really has turned the corner offensively, even without Colin Gillespie. Baylor obviously is a great offensive team in their own right, so going over 141.5. 7:25 TBS. 15-seeded Oral Roberts, 3-seeded Arkansas in the South Region. My projections: Arkansas 10, total 154.5. Meanwhile, it's Arkansas 11.5, total 159. I'm taking the under at minus 106. This total's too high. I know both these teams are offensive juggernauts, but I could see Oral Roberts coming to earth a little bit offensively. So going under 159 at minus 106. So I got some value there, and I think Arkansas will win. 9:55 TBS, 11-seeded Syracuse, 2-seeded Houston in the Midwest region. I project Houston 9.5, total 140.5. Meanwhile, it is Houston 6.5, total 140. I'm laying the points with Houston. This is the first time I'm going with the total. A side as a podcast pick. So I'm going to lay the 6.5 with Houston against Syracuse. Sunday, 2 o'clock, CBS, West Region, 5-seeded Creighton, 1-seeded Gonzaga. My projection is Gonzaga 9, total 152.5. Meanwhile, it is Gonzaga 13, total 158. I'm taking the under. That is very high for a total. I know Gonzaga is an offensive juggernaut. Creighton can score with them. But Gonzaga's defense has been pretty solid in the tournament so far. I think that they can slow down Zagorowski a little bit. I think Jalen Suggs will be the best player on the court, so I'm going to go under 158. And I think Gonzaga will advance. 5 o'clock CBS, 4-seeded Florida State, 1-seeded Michigan in the East region. I project Michigan by a half, total 145. Meanwhile, it is Michigan 2.5, total 143.5. I have no choice but to take the Seminoles plus 2.5 and minus 116. I don't know if they'll win the game outright, but no Isaiah Livers is a big deal. I think Florida State can win, but I don't know if they actually will pull the trigger and win. 7:15 TBS, 11-seeded UCLA, 2-seeded Alabama in the East region. I project Alabama 2.5, total 145. Meanwhile, it is 6.5 and 145.5. I'm taking UCLA plus the 6.5. I don't think they're going to win out the game outright, but I think they'll keep it competitive. I think that Mick Cronin will get his guys ready to go, but ultimately, Nate Oates' team will win. 9:45 TBS Sunday night, a Pac-12 matchup in the Sweet 16. 7-seeded Oregon, 6-seeded USC, West region. I project Oregon by 1, total 141. Meanwhile, it's USC 2, total 138. I'm taking Oregon plus the 2 at minus 116 and plus 110 straight up. I also like the over as well. But I like Oregon a little better. So give me Oregon plus the 2 at minus 116 and plus 110 on the money line. So there you have it for all the college basketball that you need to know for the weekend. And now I'm going to go over some golf from yesterday and look ahead to what's to come in what has been an interesting WGC Dell match play. I forget, trying to find where we left off from yesterday. I think we talked about Kevin Na and Adam Long. McIlroy defeated Griffin with the 4-3. Poulter over Smith, 1 up. Schauffele over Day, 2-1. Scheffler and Sullivan halved. Todd over Berger, 2-1. Van Rooyen over English, 2-1. Rahm over Lowry, 2-up. Palmer over Munoz, 2-1. And then today, 10-20, Justin Thomas and Lewis Olson. And 10-20, 10-31, Shane Lowry and Sebastian Munoz. 10-42, Tony Finau and Jason Kokrak. 10-53, you have Zalatoris and Fratelli. 11-04, DeChambeau and Fleetwood. 11-15, Kim and Rosner. 11-26, Hovland and Answer. And I'm going to make picks. Thomas, Lowry, Finau, Fratelli, DeChambeau, Kim, Hovland over Answer. I'm going to go Streelman over Weisberg in 11:37. 11:48, Morika and Horschel, and go with Morika. 11:59, Homa and Potson. We're going to go with Potson. 12:10, Simpson and Casey. We're going to go with Casey. 12:21, Hughes and Gooch. I'm going to go with Hughes. 12:32, Hatton and Westwood. I'm going to go with Hatton. 12:43, Garcia and Wallace. We'll go with Wallace. 12:54, Sanjay and Victor Perez. We'll go with him. 105, Leishman and Hanley. We're going to go with Mark Leishman. 116, Dustin Johnson and Kevin Na. We're going to go with Dustin Johnson. 127, McIntyre and Long. We'll go with Long. 138, Rory McIlroy and Smith. Chris Smith. We're going to go with McIlroy. 149, Lucas Griffin and Ian Poulter. We're going to go with Poulter. 2 o'clock, Schauffele and Scheffler. We're going to go with Scheffele. 2:11, Day and Sullivan. We're going to go with Day. 2:22, Berger and English. We're going to go with Berger. 2:33, Todd and Van Rooyen. We're going to go with Todd. 2:44, Rahm and Palmer. We're going to go with Rahm. 2:55, Matsuyama and Cantlay. We're going to go with Matsuyama. 3:06, Ortiz and Harmon. We're going to go with Ortiz. 3:17, Reed and Neiman. We're going to go with Neiman. 3:28, Zeidenhout and Watson. We're going to go with Watson. 3:39, Fitzpatrick and Wolf. We're going to go with Fitzpatrick. 3:50, Connors and Spieth. We're going to go with Spieth. 4:01, Kisner and Kuchar. We're going to go with Kisner in that one. And then the other results that we didn't discuss today, but we might have yesterday, and if we did, I apologize. Poulter over McIlroy, 6-5. Smith over Griffin, 1 up. Schauffele and Sullivan halved. Scheffler over Day, 2 up. Berger over Van Rooyen, 6-4. English over Todd, 1 up. Rahm over Munoz, 1 up. Palmer over Lowry, 4-2. Cantlay over Harmon, 1 up. Ortiz over Matsuyama, 4-3. Reed and Watson halved. Neiman and Zeidenhout halved. Spieth over Fitzpatrick. Wolf over Connors. Kuchar over Thomas, 3-2. By the way, Wolf over Connors was 3-1, and Spieth over Fitzpatrick was 3-1. Kisner over Utian 2-1. Fratelli over Finau 6-5. Kokrak over Zalatoris 1-up. Rosner over DeChambeau 2-up. Fleetwood and Kim halved. Stroman over Hovland 4-2. Answer over Weisberger 3-2. Morikwa and Potson halved. Horschel over Homa 1-up. Simpson over Gooch 6-5. Hughes over Casey 3-2. Hatton and Wallace halved. Garcia over Westwood 4-3. Im over Henley 1-up. Perez over Leishman 2-1. Johnson over Long 2-up. McIntyre over Na 2-1. Johnson over Long 2-up. I said that one already. Cantlay over Ortiz 1-up. Harmon over Matsuyama 1-up. Reed over Zeidenhout 2-up. Watson and Neiman halved. Fitzpatrick over Connors 5-4. Spieth and Wolf halved. Kisner over Justin Thomas 2-1. Kuchar over Utian 1-up. Finau and Zalatoris halved. Fratelli over Kokrak 3-2. DeChambeau over Kim 2-1. Fleetwood over Rosner 4-3. Weisberger over Hovland 4-2. Answer over Stroman 2-1. Homa over Morikwa 2-1. Potson over Horschel 4-2. Hughes over Simpson 4-3. Casey over Gooch 3-2. Garcia over Hatton 3-2. Westwood over Wallace 5-3. Leishman over Im 2-1. And then the rest of them I hit on already. So there you have it for the match play, and then the Corrales leaderboard at the moment. Their top 5. Stefan Jaeger is in first with 6 over, and Jonathan Bird, Rafael Campos, Mark D'Anderson, and Andrew Young are in a second place tie with 5 under. Now I'm going to make picks for the NASCAR races over the weekend. It's just truck and cup this weekend from Bristol. The starting lineups are weirdly not out yet at the moment, but if they are out, we will go over the starting lineups. But no, the qualifying lineups are up, but not the starting lineup. So we're just going to go through odds for the races because it's just weird that the starting lineups are not up for their respective races, and normally the starting lineups are up. All right, so the Pinty's truck race on dirt. Kyle Larson's plus 150, Briscoe 7-1, Star Friesen 7-1, Sheldon Creed's 10, Grant Effinger's 14, Nemechek 15, Matt Crafton 16-1, Martin Truex Jr., Bubba Wallace 20-1, Mike Marlar 22-1, Kevin Harvick 25-1, Zane Smith 30-1, Ryan Newman 33-1, Austin Hill, Carson Hocevar, Brent Rhodes, any other driver 40-1. That's interesting. Any other driver, that could be a mystery. Todd Gilliland, Brett Moffitt 50-1, Tyler Ankrum, Chandler Smith, Daniel Suarez 66-1, Derek Kraus 80-1, Johnny Sauter 80-1. Patrick Klingerman, Matt Snyder 100-1. Haley Deegan, Tanner Gray, Chase Purdy 125-1, Raphael Lessard, Timothy Peters, Ryan Truex 150-1, and J.R. Hefner 200-1. My pick for this race, I'm going to go with John Hunter Nemechek at 14-1 on this dirt race in the truck series. I think that Nemechek will have a good run here and get in victory lane. And then Cup Series, the Food City Dirt Race at Bristol, Kyle Larson's a plus 250 favorite. Chris Bell 7-1. Austin Dillon 12-1, Chase Briscoe 13-1, Kyle Busch 16-1, as well as Stuart Friesen, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 20-1, Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick, 22-1, Ryan Blaney, 25-1, Bubba Wallace, 30-1, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., 33-1, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, 35-1, Alec Bowman, Kurt Busch, Mike Millar, 40-1, William Byron, Ryan Newman, Chris Windom, 50-1, Matt DiBenedetto, Shane Golobic, Brad Keselowski, 60-1, Ty Dillon, 66-1, Cole Custer, Eric Jones, 80-1, Eric Almirola, Chris Buescher, 100-1, Ross Chastain, 125-1, Daniel Suarez, 151, Corey LaJoie, Michael McDowell, 200-1, Ryan Preece, J.J. Yealy, 250-1, Cody Ware, 300-1, Anthony Alfredo, 500-1, Quinn Houff, and Josh Bilicki. My pick in the Food City Dirt Race from Bristol, I'm going to go Kyle Busch at 16-1. I like Kyle Busch. I think that he'll have a chip on his shoulder. I think he's had some success with dirt racing in the past. So give me Kyle Busch 16-1 on the dirt from Bristol. Now the latest news and notes for today. It's not going to be much because I did a lot of trade stuff yesterday. There's a lot of teams eyeing Andre Drummond. Lakers, Knicks, Celtics, Clippers, Hornets. The consensus seems like that he might be New York Knicks bound. I personally don't love the fit for the Knicks. He's just somebody that I think could screw up some chemistry that's going on with their team. I know he would be an upgrade at the backup center position over Nerlens Noel and Taj Gibson. But there's just a lot of liabilities with Drummond that could hurt the Knicks, like his poor free throw shooting and some other things going on. I think Brooklyn would be a nice fit. Charlotte would be the best fit because they need a center, like an upgrade at center over what they currently have. So I think Charlotte would be a great fit for Andre Drummond. Boston, too. Sad story in college basketball is Grand Canyon's men's basketball standout Oscar Fryer at age 23 had passed away in a car accident on Tuesday, days after playing in the NCAA tournament. Very sad story, and my thoughts and prayers go out to the family of Fryer and his teammates and the Grand Canyon University men's basketball program. There was an unreal college basketball game winner, West Texas A&M, heading to the NCAA Division II National Championship as they hit a clutch three as time expires. The video was going viral, so that was pretty cool to see. Another head coaching change in college basketball. Lon Kruger to retire. 35 seasons, 674 wins. Congratulations to Lon Kruger. And now the question is, where does Oklahoma go from here? I think there's going to be a lot of good candidates out there for them to get. Guys that I like for this job, UNC Greensboro's Wes Miller. Leon, I'm trying to think of the name of the Boise State head coach. Leon Rice. I knew it was Leon something. I just had Leon Rose in my head, but that's the New York Knicks executive. So Leon Rice would be a great hire, I think. I think that Joe Golding would be a great get. He's the head coach of Abilene Christian. A very hot name after this tournament will be Paul Mills of Oral Roberts. Somebody who else I like for this job potentially, Richie McKay of Liberty. I think he's done a great job at Liberty. I will be surprised if it's a Power 5 guy, to be honest. That's why I think they're going to look at mid-major guys. I think Leon Rice would be a great fit. I think that Craig Smith at Utah State would be a good fit as well. So, we'll see where Oklahoma goes. And anything related to this, obviously, I will discuss. The Seattle Seahawks re-signed Carlos Dunlap, 2 years, $16.6 million. So, the pass rusher returns to Seattle on a nice contract. The Miami Heat are the front runners for LaMarcus Aldridge. I think that would be a great fit. I talked about it on the trade post-mortem show yesterday. He's going to get bought out by the Spurs, and I think that Miami would be a great landing spot for Aldridge. TJ Warren's out for the season as he underwent foot surgery. That's a big loss for the Pacers. He was awesome in the bubble last year for them, and I think that they can survive. I think that if LeVert can get going, and I think that Sabonis and Brogdon will keep up their fine play, I think the Pacers should be fine, but that is still a big loss for them because that is somebody that is a buckets machine. Yusuf Nurkic broke his no news on Twitter as the Blazers' big man gets in the trade deadline spirit and announces he is returning today against the Magic. So that is pretty cool. The NFL is encouraging vaccines. The league hopes that players, coaches, and staff choose to be vaccinated but has, quote-unquote, no intention to require it. I think it's the right call to not require it but to encourage it. I think that'd be a good thing for the league if they get a lot of their players vaccinated so we don't have to see a lot of postponements in games and whatnot. But it's a long way away. I think more people will be vaccinated by the time football starts, and most stadiums will be having fans in them, if not all of them. So that's something to worth noting. Sabres coaches are in the COVID protocol as the general manager, Kevin Adams, will be behind the bench, or was behind the bench against the Penguins yesterday, and obviously they lost for nothing, and it meant nothing. Eloy Jimenez is out for 5 to 6 months due to a ruptured left pectoral tendon. So 5 to 6 months he's out for. That is a brutal loss for the Chicago White Sox. This is a team that I think can absolutely represent the American League in the World Series this year. They have a great rotation, a good bullpen, a great offense. Even without Jimenez, I still think their offense is going to be very good. Andrew Vaughn might start the year in the big leagues, which is great. And they're talking about starting him in left field with Jimenez out, and then they'll just have Abreu at first, and they'll sign a DH perhaps. Maybe they'll bring back Edwin Encarnacion, who's still a free agent. Or they'll trade for somebody else. And then Nick Madrigal they have starting at second. So, yeah, this is a loaded team. This is just a big blow for them. I think that Jimenez was going to be a big part of that team and could have reached the 35-40 home run plateau this season. And obviously that's off the table. In terms of a return, right now we're in March, and 6 months from now is September. So at the latest he'll be back is for the stretch run and for the playoffs. So maybe this could be like the Kyle Schwarber of 5 years ago, except Schwarber came back in the World Series, and Jimenez for the White Sox will come back in August or September for the stretch run of the season. So Big loss for the White Sox. I think that they'll make up for it with the presence of Vaughn and maybe a trade. But if this team is disappointing, then I could see a world where they rush it and they will make a trade for somebody to help out that team. Another big injury is Nick Anderson of the Tampa Bay Rays as he suffers a partial elbow tear and he's likely out till midseason. That is a big loss for the Tampa Bay Rays, a team that is trying to repeat its success last year. Nick Anderson obviously was their closer at times and a lethal weapon out of the bullpen. And this is a big loss, and I think that this could eliminate their chances of winning the American League East. And to me, the Yankees, it's their division to lose now with this injury and the losses of Blake Snell and Charlie Morton on top of that. This is the New York Yankees division to lose now, in my opinion. Toronto, to me, just doesn't have the pitching to be as good as the Yankees. And the Yankees pitching, I think, has better upside than Toronto's. Although Tampa will still be good. I still think they can make the playoffs. But that's a team that, to me, should make a trade to help them at the time being, similar to Chicago's situation with Eloy Jimenez. And last thing before we do best bet, that the Astros and Carlos Correa talks are not close, as Houston offered a 6-year, $120 million extension. And it didn't even spark dialogue with the franchise shortstop and is likely to become a free agent. This is sad for the Astros. Correa might be next out the door. George Springer was out the door. If the Astros disappoint this year, maybe they can trade Correa and get maybe 70 cents on the dollar, maybe 50 cents on the dollar at the trade deadline this year. And Correa can go to a team that needs a shortstop. Like, if there's an injury to somebody or whatever, and he can go to that team and help them. So, we'll see what happens with Carlos Correa here. But this could very well be a distraction all season long. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. This is a hard one to do because there's a lot of games that I liked in terms of who to put money on. And Miami's down to 1.5 against Charlotte. There must be an injury that I don't know about or something, because why is that line so low? Jimmy Butler will probably play. So Jimmy Butler on the injury report. So I don't want to. He had a stomach problem, and let's see if he played last night. If I'm not mistaken, I think he did play for Miami. I don't know why that line is so low. And everyone's like, ooh, Charlotte. But no, Butler did not play. All right, so I'm going to avoid that. Again, this is really, really tough. Alrighty. I'm going to go with the... I'm stuck between two teams. I don't know where to go. And I'm going to go with Denver. I just trust them more than I trust the Suns. To me, it was either Denver or the Suns. I'm going to go with Denver. I'm going to lay a unit with Denver tonight on the road, -2 against Zion Williamson. and the Pelicans for my best bet of the day. I just think that they're the better team. They're the deeper team, led by new MVP betting favorite, Nikola Jokic. Let's just make sure Jokic is favored for the MVP at the moment. And he is at minus 110, and I think that's ridiculous. I think that the favorite should be Giannis, and he's plus 650. So there you have it. I'll be back on Monday recapping all the college basketball from the men's, the women's, to the NIT, NBA, NHL, MLB spring training. I will have a podcast on Sunday with Julian Gilardi of Grunt Talks MLB, as we'll go over the season win totals for every team and pick over-under and do futures as well. Also, NASCAR and golf on Monday's podcast as well as my best bet of the day and any other news that breaks in the world of sports and pop culture. I'll have it for you as well, and keep an eye out for the prospects and the prospect preseason shows for baseball as well, which are going to drop Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and probably even into Tuesday as well. And then the big baseball predictions podcast, the one that I'm going to do solo, will probably drop on Wednesday night. I hope you guys have a great, great weekend, everyone.